Introduction to Ivanhoe, Part 10. King Edward, we are not told which among the monarchs of that name, but from his temper and habits we may suppose Edward IV, sets forth with his court on a gallant hunting match in Sherwood Forest, in which, as is not usual for princes in romance, he falls in with a deer of extraordinary size and swiftness, and pursues it closely, till he has outstripped his whole retinue, tired out hounds and horse, and finds himself alone under the gloom of an extensive forest, upon which night is descending. Under the apprehensions natural to a situation so uncomfortable, the king recollects that he has heard how poor men, when apprehensive of a bad night's lodging, pray to Saint Julian, who, in the Romish calendar, stands quartermaster general to all forlorn travelers that render him due homage. Edward puts up his orisons accordingly, and by the guidance doubtless of the good saint, reaches a small path, conducting him to a chapel in the forest, having a hermit's cell in its close vicinity. The king hears of the reverend man, with a companion of his solitude, telling his beads within, and meekly requests of him quarters for the night. "I have no accommodations for such a lord as ye," said the hermit. "I live here in the wilderness upon roots and rinds, and may not receive into my dwelling even the poorest wretch that lives, unless it were to save his life." The king inquires the way to the next town, and, understanding it is by a road which he cannot find without difficulty, even if he had daylight to befriend him, he declares that, with or without the hermit's consent, he is determined to be his guest for the night. He is admitted accordingly, not without a hint from the recluse that, were he himself out of his priestly weeds, he would care little for his threats of using violence, and that he gives way to him not out of intimidation, but simply to avoid scandal. The king is admitted into the cell. 2 bundles of straw are shaken down for his accommodation, and he comforts himself, and he is now under shelter, and that night will soon be gone. Other wants, however, arise. The guest becomes clamorous for supper, observing, "For certainly, as you say, I have ne'er so sorry a day that I had a merry night."